is ours.
Yeah, sorry here. This is game 1 of the quarterfinals of the 2v2 Anniversary Classic Finals. We are on Crossing in the Woods and playing for spawning in the north. We have Stuve and he's straight away locked in mechanized support as Soviets. We got from Kimbo as the Brits, who is straight away locked in Royal Engineers. In the south we have Artavick as OKW, who has Luftwaffe Ground Forces, Elite Armor and Special Operations. Finally Brosras, who has Special Operations, Luftwaffe Ground Forces and Breakthrough. So tournament's over now, but I wanted to come back and cover a few of these replays, because obviously these are some of the best games you'll ever get to see. Tournament of this caliber. Fortunately, I think this is probably the only series I'm going to be able to get to before the patch hits, but we'll see how it goes. Did plan to do like a whole bunch, basically every single one that didn't get covered on the main broadcast, but because of my sore throat and the scheduling changes due to the server issues early in the tournament, that didn't quite happen. So anyway, back to the gameplay. Now that all that's out of the way. 2 skirmishes. Looks like double OKW have secured double fuel thanks to Stern Pioneers rushing right to the fuel points, which is getting off to a pretty strong start here. So here comes M3. That's going to do some damage. Going for that first as well. Quite if you see them go for a penal before the M3, but getting that out super early. Of course, your OKW don't have access to Panzerfaust, so they are very vulnerable to the M3 this early. Oh my god! Stern Pioneers died! What? Whoa, that was a massive blunder from Artavick. Just wasn't even watching because I just assumed he's doing some sneaky peekaboo stuff with the Stern Pioneers like Brosras was, but somehow he lost them there. Very confusing. So it's a good pick off there for Kimbo.
Secure the vehicle. Location set. Begin conversion.
Do have one mine down over here. Some ponies get a nice burst and do quite a lot of damage, but end up getting forced away thanks to the flamethrower. Great popping at the right time. Got a battle group. Brosras, no tech truck out yet for Artavick. That is a little bit late for him. Brosras actually going for a 3 Volksgrenadier tech as well. That's quite unconventional. Big assault here from Artavick, bringing all his Volksgrenadiers over. Kimbo's going to get outnumbered here, going to get forced away. Go straight for the cutoff as well. That way they can neutralize resources coming in here. Because it does take longer to neutralize fuel than standard territory points. So go for the cutoff can deny them the resources more quickly. And that's why he went for only 3 Volksgrenadiers. He went for a super early truck so he could get Fausts off and catch Stuve off guard there. Interesting idea, going for the fast battle group. I think, yeah, we don't really see that in 1v1s that often, because you just end up getting out-muscled, one squad down on the battlefield, but on a small map like this, Crossing in the Woods, I think it can work out just fine, because well, it's like a team game first off, so your teammate can kind of pick up the slack, and you don't have to cover nearly as much area, because this is like the smallest 2v2 map in the pool. So yeah, it paid off there. Takes down the M3. Nice work from Brosras. Pops an incendiary grenade in there. Look at all these squads, so low in health, but if he doesn't knock the models off now, they'll be able to use the Tommy healing, and then they'll be back up to full. It's going to result in no manpower drain at all. Oh, okay, he's actually gone for 5-man upgrade, okay. So they're not quite as low in health as I thought. I thought they were like 4-man squads at that amount of health. I was like, man, they're going to benefit so much from that healing, but it's actually because he went for the 5-man upgrade early. Flak half track coming in from Brosras. That's pretty unconventional from what we've seen so far this tournament. Also going for an early MG34. Good idea against the Brits specifically. They do tend to have trouble against machine guns. And because he went for the fast battle whip, he can go into the fast machine gun. He's got a little bit of spare manpower. So overall, you know, pretty complete build from Brosras to counter the M3. Seems to be working out pretty well so far.
Mechanized flak is ready for action.
Do have a mech truck down for Artavick. Just about enough fuel for his first light vehicle himself. Whether it will be a Puma or Lux first, we'll be yet to see. I think because his teammates going for the flak half track, we're probably going to see the Puma, but you never know. Yeah, trying to do some damage. We actually have a sniper from Kimbo. Don't see him snipe too often. But that is a good way to deal with the machine gun, of course. Nice incendiary grenade does a lot of health damage, but oh, late retreat should be alright. So 2 squads of guards for Stuve. That is going to cause a few issues for the flak half track. Yep. Like if the guards run into the flak half track, you know, while it's set up, then you can fire and suppress them before they can get shots off. And that can be alright, but ever since the flak half track got suppression nerfed, it does seem to struggle against PTRS squads. It just takes too long to suppress them to be effective against them.
An anti-tank battery is ready for deployment.
Part of it does go for the looks. So that's a lot of anti-infantry and the light vehicle builds for the Axis. Ooh. Nice grenade. I can't track back up, ready for some more action. That's good damage. There's a sniper doing 3 kills, okay. Decent rate. You gotta be careful with that looks running around though. So the standard counter to the sniper is lift off of ground forces. You can activate the Valiant Assault, just sprint towards it. Really hard to keep your sniper alive against like heaps of STG folks just sprinting at it. So actually Kimbo used it very effectively against Love Nest in GCS 2. Uh-oh. Oh, what's he doing? Go down to the sniper on retreat. Sniper misses the killing blow. Looks getting on top of the anti-tank gun here. Trying to clear it out. Sniper trying to chip in with a little bit of damage with his anti-tank rifle, but I'm supposed to be careful he doesn't go down. Guards coming over now in support though from Stuve. AT gun does get decrewed, but in a pretty safe position, should be able to get recrewed very easily from there. Raketin actually destroying the sandbags. I was like, what's he up to? Just doing some good damage. Send a lot of squads away. Allies do seem to be struggling for fuel control right now. So it looks to me like Kimbo's actually not even going to bother going for the AEC. Stuve also very late getting his tech down. And that anti-tank gun's going to get stolen here by Artavick, making it away with both his low squads as well. So that's a huge win for the Axis early. Two huge wins really. They knocked down the M3 pretty quickly and now stealing the anti-tank gun. Things are looking really good for them. They've also had excellent fuel control so far. Okay, anti-tank gun actually does get decreed by the Tommies just before they end up getting suppressed. And we have no squads nearby to recruit quite yet. Some coming up now. Here comes a big assault from Kimbo. He wants his anti-tank gun back. Piets are there to zone out the looks. Opportunity is coming up now to try and save the day. Stimponies take so much damage just from all the Tommy fire. Opportunity is coming in though, trying to swing it round. Oh, the sniper actually decrews the machine gun. He might be able to steal this anti-tank gun back here. Maybe if his teammate comes to support, maybe not, but yeah, he does. He fights hard, he gets the anti-tank gun back. Or maybe not. It's getting focus fired down by these Volksgrenadiers. Oh, it's a real tug of war over this 6-pounder here. Just going back and forth. Kimbo actually manages to steal away the MG34 though amongst that action. Sniper in the meantime, 14 kills. It was at 3 kills not that long ago. Now it's up to 14. This has been a great engagement for the sniper. It's just been chipping away from the back lines while all this fighting's been going on. Looks like a Raketin now trying to destroy the anti-tank gun. It's like if I can't have it, you can't have it either. Sniper goes for the critical shot, gets the engine damage. Pierce trying to follow up with the kill. I think one more shot and the looks will go down, but looks is going in trying to push them. Oh, doesn't quite get there and the looks goes down, but anti-tank gun also went down. Unfortunate, like I really think Brosras need to get over there and help his teammate out with the flak half track. Oh, Kimbo does go for the AEC. This is super late. I mean, he could have teched up and gone for a medium tank around this point instead of the AEC. This is a super late one. Looks like he's making a beeline right for the flak half track. He pops smoke, but takes a mine and the flak half track knocks it out.
An AEC Mark III armored car has been destroyed.
AEC actually has very little rear armor, so if you expose its rear armor to something like the flak half track, it will actually be able to shoot down pretty quickly. So we have tier 4 going down here for Brosras. Pretty safe position, kind of just covering this munitions point a little bit. Cover all these team weapons here. Quite far back, but still in a relevant position to provide some impact. Stuve has now gone for a T70, but look at how late it was. His tech construction was so late, and now his T70 is super late as a result. It wasn't because of bad fuel income, it was just because he started his tier 3 tech so late. His T70 is going to have a hard time getting good value from it. 2 incendiary grenades there. Well, I don't think it was necessary. I don't think he's going to be able to get the wipe. We're wasting munitions there from Artavick, I think. Artavick now in a interesting position. Actually gone for a fresh MG34. Tommy's got down, late retreat. There was an ISG shell in there as well. Piet's trying to move through the middle, but they're getting suppressed. Sniper in the back lines, taking shots at these stern pioneers. Kitten comes up trying to destroy the cover they're standing behind. Fair idea. D70 now forcing away the MG in the middle. Axis having a little bit of trouble with this building out here on the left. Black half track's got to be careful. Oh, he's got a good machine gun positioning here though. Covering his flank. And they do gain control of that fuel once more. Sniper's been having a field day though. 22 kills now. It's a little bit of damage from those STGs. Has to retreat. He doesn't want to retreat because, you know, he doesn't have healing here. Have to go use his allies HQ, which is a little bit further away. Finally ends up smoking out that stolen MG34. The squad was really pinned though, taking a long time for the suppression to wear off. In fact, may not actually wear off because of the flame damage he's taking. Looks like that's countering his keeping the squad in combat and stopping that out of combat suppression recovery multiplier from occurring. Which is interesting. Females could go down here on retreat. No, every single shot there hits the tree, and they escape just fine. Still, this one has developed into a much closer match after the strong start from the Axis. You know, Artavick probably should have got a walking Stuka at some stage. Just walking Stuka is so strong on this map, like such a small map, so all the units are closely packed, which makes rocket artillery just incredibly powerful. You can always just do a blind shot, just hit something. That's how tightly packed they are on this small map. So I think he's made a slight mistake not getting walking Stuka before trying to go for his command Panther. But at the very least he will probably have enough for the command Panther as soon as he hits 12 CPs. Well, here comes a Panzer IV for Brosras. It's going to spell the end of this T70 perhaps. He's running straight into it. Lands the first shot. Will he chase? Looks like he's not going to overextend, doesn't want to run over any mines. Meanwhile, this squad could go down to the Panzer IV. Ooh, nice long range snipe there. Tommy goes down. But he's actually a little bit light on Tommy's, and it is causing issues getting his sniper heal back up, as I mentioned earlier. Infiltration grenades went in there. Piet's heading over to the Panzer IV. Trying to keep it honest, force it away. B4's getting some really good damage. You can hear they announced that 200 VPs left for the Allies. They've been fighting well in terms of army, but they have been draining on the VPs. EVRE coming in for Kimbo now. You saw this actually be very effective throughout the tournament, the AVRE. Very strong, especially against Raketans, because they only have 50 range. Very hard for them to... oh, this could be a bait. Two Raketans right next to the AVRE. Command Panther hitting the field at the same time. He's used the marked vehicle on it, but he doesn't. He's just gonna chase in, hope to get the kill here. Oh, he finally activates it, but the shot bounces on the AVRE. And I think he would have needed 2 more shots to kill there, so he backs out. Fair enough. Sniper also used the critical shot there, jamming the turret, so definitely wouldn't have got the kill, but if he had used that earlier on, and the Raketen shots had, you know, done the bonus damage, probably could have got the kill there. He's going to attack round into the smoke. He's using the vehicle crew repairs on it right now. Sending his engineers in there as well. Guards coming over to support though. Nice from Stuve. He's always there with the guards when his ally needs them. Good teamwork from these two. And now they're calling in the flame mortar support, and that's going to be the end of that push for the Axis. AVRE escapes alive and got an MG34, so good engagement overall there for the Allies. Looks like because the AVRE is reloaded, he wants to bring it in for some combat and then he'll pull it back for repairs once it's reloading again. Wants to keep it active. AVRE coming forwards, machine gun. There's very little chance of dodging that. But he does it a little bit short. The models were kind of spread a little bit further back, so only gets 1 model with that shot. Not very effective. No, still no command section from Brosras. Has left the door open for going for breakthrough to get the Jagdtiger, of course, to perhaps counter the ISU 152. These massive assault guns we know are so important in these team games. So he's just, you know, leaving his command slot open because, you know, there are a couple guys commanders around. Doesn't 100% know that Stuve is gone for this one. So wait until he sees the 152 and then he's going to see his commander, because honestly breakthrough doesn't really offer that much in the early game. Like, those Fusiliers are pretty good, but they do come in a little bit later. Uh-oh. What's this Command Panther doing? There's an anti-tank gun, lots of Piets here. It's super risky. I don't think this is a good idea with the Command Panther. Rear armor with the Piets. Main gun destroyed. Can he escape though? Piets on the chase? No.
HQ is under attack.
That was really dumb from Artavick. Honestly, that was really dumb. It's gonna be even worse coming the next patch as well, when engineers get snares. Going for those kind of maneuvers are going to get punished even harder. But yeah, that was just a horrible idea from Artavick. Thing is, now he's going to have to spend his next dose of fuel on the command tank, which could have gone into maybe a walking Stuka. Oh man. 3 Raketens here, lining up on the AVRE. There's one of them out.
Your forces have constructed a company command post. Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Oh, Jagdpanzer from Brosras. It's a good way of dealing with the AVRE. And the 152 hitting the field for Stuve. The thing is though, I mean, I'm going to keep saying it, because the Axis don't have any rocket artillery, dealing with the anti-tank guns, dealing with the guards when they hit the dirt, and dealing with the Piet sappers is actually going to be quite tricky for the Axis. AVRE in a little bit of trouble there though. It's a lot of Raketen damage. That's the kind of scenario where you want the Command Panther to come in and chase for the kill, not when it's on basically full health. get out of there. ISU-152 is still on the battlefield. Looks like he's using a high explosive actually, so it would be pretty safe. Penetration is quite low. Panther charges forward again, perhaps looking for forward repairing AVRE, but doesn't find it. Decides to back out. Oh, the 152's dishing it out now. It was kind of unfortunate time for Brosras to go for the Jagdpanzer just before Stuve got the ISU-152. So it looks like he's locked in a commander now, Luftwaffe Ground Forces. As I mentioned, this Valiant Assault, very, very powerful. But that ISU-152 could have a field day here. Uncountered by an Elephant or a Jagdtiger. One more shot. Oh, AVRE goes down. Nice angle here from Brosras. Goes in the planes, doing a lot of pinning here. This is not the vehicle you really want to be charging in with on the follow-up, because as soon as they come out of suppression, still really looking to do some damage. The planes come in though, actually. AVRE, the ISU-152 taking some damage. The Command Panther does go down, but the ISU-152 could also go down. He's right on the edge of the circle. The plane's probably going to be able to come in. They don't even need them. Jagdpanzer does enough. Whoa, that was a massive exchange of armor there. Axis coming out ahead. Sniper using a critical shot there, limiting the damage, and now the Panther IV could go down. Button comes in, he's bouncing though, he's bouncing 2 shots, no. Another shot from the far side from the 6-pounder. Secures the kill, well not quite, it's abandoned. A fresh AVRE, a third one now coming in from Kimbo. Jagdpanzer is still alive, back for repairs, so that's going to be the natural enemy to the Churchill. But yeah, that was a massive exchange of armor. Because Brosras ended up losing the Panzer IV at the end there, I'd say it's pretty close to level in terms of losses, but he didn't need to, you know, he kept the Panzer IV in there, trying to clear out an anti-tank gun. I feel like it's just so risky, like, when you're that close to your opponent's base, you know, they got units over here, your PX around, it's just too risky, you know. You've already struck a really nice assault, knocked out ISU-152, just get out of there with your reward. Panzer was looking for the kill on the AVRE, can't find it though. That's now popping button. This is generally pretty safe for the Black Half Track, because yeah, you can just smoke and then get out of there. Same with if, you know, button goes off, so. All is well. Still, the VP drain is on the Allies big time, 107. They really need to look at their VP control, because it has been letting them down a little bit.
Enemy down to 100 points.
I mean, if we look at army size, you can see that they're still in it, but if their opponents, you know, if both teams are fighting equally in army and their opponents are controlling the VPs on top of that, that's one extra thing they're doing that's overall better gameplay from them. Looks like Stuve trying to work his way out here, and he's gonna find an angle around this machine gun on the far left. Some flame mortar support coming in on the middle. Allies desperate to hold on to the VPs. Not sure if they've already got any kills there. Flame mortar support almost decoying the Raketten. Can just stay on the edge of the capping circle though, so that's what Brosras is doing. Good control from him. Back half track doing some really good damage over here. It's causing the allies some real hurdles that they hadn't killed. This flank half track, it's helping control that left hand flank super effectively, and because they've lost so much armor, there's really no medium tanks right now to counter it either. It's like a bit of an AT gun siege perhaps. About to go down on this tier 4. Doesn't have any Tommies with flares though, so can't drop some base out so far on it. Jack Panzer here in cautious movement. Ooh. I think that got a wipe. The sniper might be able to on the stern pioneer. Not quite. It's too slow to fire. We got a smoke recon plane coming in. Smoking off the machine gun. Gonna shoot the sniper now. Any trouble though it is. We get it up. Probably got some received accuracy bonuses here. There it is, a hit 2. A bit harder to hit now.
Ready for orders.
Maybe Kimbo was trying to go forward, give sight for the precision bombing run on from his ally. Could have been the case. Flame mortar coming in once again in the middle, trying to get the cap. 50 VPs left here. Things are looking quite dire for the allies. They're capping 2 spots right now, but how long can they maintain control? Stuve very close to being able to forward another ISU 152. Artavick similarly very close to the command Panther. Not sure what Brosras is going to do. He's got a lot of options open. He's gone all 3 stages of tech. So, oh, there it was. Bombing run takes care of that HQ, so that does actually now close off a few of Brosras' options. He just never got around to repairing that earlier couple shots from the anti-tank guns. So I think this bombing run does about a little bit over 2/3. So if it was at full, that wouldn't have resulted in a kill. Just didn't find the time to repair it back up. So really his only option now is to save for the King Tiger. Or maybe go for a walking Stuke or something like that. ISU 152 hitting the field now. Kimbo has quite a lot of resources. He's teched, so he could go for something like a Firefly. AVRE lining up a shot and misses wildly. Also takes a lot of Raketten damage. Stern Pioneer's charging in. Oh, I think he's forgotten about them. 152 secures the white. Allies though, they're definitely paying attention to the VP game. You can say that much. Definitely trying to cap with a lot more focus on the VPs. Staying like in the far edge of the capping circle with camouflage. Stopping the capture in the middle. Cheeky move from Brosras. Track half track doing the damage on the left hand flank once again. His tank gun is there in camouflage. And will just get spotted. Panzer and Raketten are there trying to fight the 152. 152 still on high explosive, so can't really fire back effectively. He's trying to clear out their Raketten, but he's getting some unfortunate aim. Not landing the shots. Aviary came back in. This time it's on full health. Looks like he's going to line up on one of these Rakins, but there's 3 of them there. Oh, it doesn't even matter actually. The Allies unable to secure the VP. And that's it. So yeah, good start from Brosras and Artavick. They defused the M3 quickly. Had good fuel control early. Allies very, very late with their light vehicle play. The AC came in at 14 minutes, died straight away. T-70 also came in super late. Stuck around for a while, but you really want that coming in like about 4 or 5 minutes earlier than he got it. So that really put the Allies on the back foot. And then the ISU-152 got knocked out at like just the right time for the Axis. He had to save up super long time to get another one, and it was just too late at that stage. Axis had too much of a lead. Couldn't come back. So onwards to game number 2.
Victory is ours.
So here we are for game 2 of the quarterfinals. Brosras and Artavick rolling with a double US Forces team. Which is just crazy. You know, in the games I cast of them previous to this, they were running with a US Forces and Soviet mixed team. And I think that is the stronger option, honestly. Especially on a map like Crossing in the Woods. US Forces typically relies on like their high mobility, strong light vehicle play to get an edge. Like we saw Hans and DVM have some good success with double US Forces in this tournament, but I don't think this is the right map for it. But we'll have to wait and see. Kimbo, meanwhile, gone for Spear Cop straight away as OKW. Stuve has the option of Firestorm, Special Operations, and Luftwaffe Ground Forces. Is missing the opportunity to go for Howitzer with the LFH. I think people should be considering fortifications. Some ponies get chased away. They got a piece of wire down on that cover, which can lead to some good control of this house, but kind of need to back it up with a little bit more firepower. Looks like the ally is going to double team this left hand side, so it's going to be a full retreat on the left for Stuve, getting massively outnumbered here. But the Axis in the meantime have captured up everything just fine themselves, so that is what happens when you go for those double teams. You do concede one side to your opponents. But I can understand them wanting to go for a 2v1 because the early game can be very tricky for US Forces against OKW. It is in 1v1s especially. Oh, not switching targets early enough there was Brosras, and you need to switch targets to stern pioneers as quickly as possible, try and inflict that damage. And here the wire is starting to come into effect. Rifleman having to take a really bad engagement here up against this building. No flamethrowers for US Forces, so the options to deal with a unit in a building like this are very limited. They need to go for the mortar, which they might be reluctant to early on in the game. Oh, good work. He's sneaking one squad over to the fuel on the far right. That's exactly what he needs to do. Truck coming in for Stuve. For an early truck here. This is an okay engagement for the riflemen, but still like not that good. 2 Fox Units also behind heavy cover. Stern Pioneers, they're outnumbered. Because the riflemen, just can't really fight Fox Units effectively at long range. Ambulance coming in for Brosras. I really feel like one of these two should have gone for mortar. The lack of flamethrowers just hurting him so much. And the OKW team at the moment can just stand behind these heavy cover positions and just win every engagement. Could actually lose us on retreat here. He's not careful. Jumps back in the building, out to the other side, and maybe he's going to retreat now. He's got some squads coming up in support, but that's still a late retreat. Because these squads are so low, like they're not going to be that effective in this fight, honestly. Need to heal up at that freshly built ambulance. We have a bit of a formation coming here for Brosras, so he only goes for 3 rifles with the ambulance and the lieutenant. Interesting build order. Captain from Artavick, and now he's going for the pack out, but could have benefited from the mortar so far. Pack out is very strong though. Especially in a map like Crossing in the Woods where you can camp like a pack out around here and just shoot at so many targets from that location. From relative safety as well. Lieutenant going really deep here. Might be able to squeeze around this MG as well. Big old blob coming through for Kimbo though, running for the cutoff in return. Could actually lose this now as it crosses the road. No, it looks like one of the squads was shooting at the wrong targets there, but I think it would have got away anyway. Machine gun had to retreat. Lieutenant doing some really good damage. Like, look at all these last squads. They have to retreat. Lieutenant would shred them otherwise. He doesn't want to lose that manpower right after he's built his medics. Just to try to conserve those low health models, so just pops retreat. Did I hear a... oh, it's a pack out, so... thought I heard an M1 for a second there, but... it's not. A half-track coming in now from Brosras. Is a little bit late though, I have to say. Just a tiny bit. It's been a pretty bloody war so far. Lots of casualties on both sides. As you can see here, like a lot. Kill count stacking up pretty high for this early on in the match. It's just been like constant fighting. Lieutenant pops retreat on 5 bottles. There we go. Eventually came out. Wants to make use of the ambulance to heal back up. Save his manpower. Okay, so trying to barrage that machine gun. In comes the A half track though. It's going to force a lot of retreats here. Mechanized is down. Kimbo just about has enough fuel to call in a looks. Might go for the Puma though. A half track sets up. He's trying to go for the wipe, but it looks like those barrels actually absorbed a couple shots. So didn't do as much damage as he hoped and ended up getting the Faust. This is a decision you have to sometimes make. Like, I can stop here, try to go for the wipe, and risk taking the Faust, or I can back away and kite the Faust but not do as much damage. Definitely not get the wipe. He chose going for the wipe and didn't really pay off there. Packouts has been getting some pretty good hits in, zoning out the machine gun. Those packouts' shells do take quite a long time to land though, so it does give your opponent quite a lot of time to dodge. He's bringing it right up. Looks like they might go for a siege on this HQ. Artavick's got an anti-tank gun. He's moving around here as well. It's going to be like a really good timing for it. Oh, Puma coming in for Kimbo though. That Puma will probably shut down a lot of this pressure on the HQ, but it looks like the allies do want to try and destroy this HQ. Now that Puma's on the field, the A half-track's going to have to be really careful. Axis have got double fuel. This building's on the edges, causing them issues. No flamethrowers, no secondary grenades. Does make things very hard, even on a map like this where there are so few buildings. You can acutely feel their lack of flame weaponry. Puma going ambulance hunting. Connects with one shot. Connects with the second. Down it goes. Brosras tried to pack it up and move it out instead of jumping the medics out, so just flat out dies there. It's a real problem for US forces. It seems to happen so often. These high level games, just ambient snipe like that. And because they don't really have access to permanent mines, very hard to mine up your base and punish it, because it will often only result in a temporary snare. Brosras does have the option though. He does have rifleman field defences in his commander, but I guess he felt he didn't want to take the time out trying to control the map to build a mine to try and protect his ambulance, and ends up costing him. Interesting to see here, Artavick actually gone for full bars. Generally when you see a double use forces team like this, one of them will go for an infantry company and go for M1919, so interesting to see his tick bars here. And Axis are doing really well for map control right now, as you can see here. Excellent control from them. They've really been denying the Allies fuel. A half-track getting zoned out really effectively by that Puma now. M1 coming over to try and support, but having a bit of trouble. The counts only got 2 kills, but a lot of variance. He must have been dishing out some damage. Oh, interesting. Kimbo putting down his med HQ. Guess he wants to make use of the healing, because this one is actually quite far away. It's hard to share healing when this one's so far away. If you want to push out to this right hand side, it's not very effective, so he's putting down his med HQ. Clearly though, since he's going for the command path, he does have a little bit of fuel to spare, doesn't have to worry about ticking his Shreya HQ. So heading Vet 1 now. It's Vet 2 when it gets the high explosive barrage, which is super strong, so that's what he's hoping to get towards. Puma's over here, so there's a half track. And one's over here as well to zone out the Puma from any retaliatory fire. Also trying to do some capping over here, but the Allies are struggling to hold on to a fuel right now. One gets a shot in on the Puma. Puma's one shot from death, but he's not using attack ground. He's going to try and get his anti-tank gun out of there instead. If he did go for the attack ground, there was a chance those Fox News would have been able to decrew it as it tried to retreat, but this, on the other hand, is a late retreat, definitely going to be a death. And that's actually for Brosras as well. He needs those engineers, or rear echelon, to be able to repair up his eventual Pershing, so that is a pretty big loss for him. Having his rear echelon being able to get some veterancy as they were there. Vet 1 maybe would have been Vet 2 by the time the Pershing hit the field. Would have been very helpful. In comes a big flank from Kimbo, putting pressure on the M1. These squads not really coming to support. Here they come now. Rakit moving into position on the A half track though. Has to get out of there. It looks like the LEIG actually got a good hit in there. Some big damage, but yeah, the Allies are really struggling to hold on to the fuel. Do see a mortar now from Brosras, maybe to help deal with this machine gun play. He has some pretty good hits in. Does have sight of that thanks to these units, so the scatter will be reduced. Looks like he's thinking about going for another ambulance raid, but M1 is there to defend. MG34 is getting decrewed, but nothing to follow up and steal it away. It's a... Oh, it's like... What happened to the very chance pack howitzer? No, that's the second one. So double pack howitzer. So it's like a very strong strategy, but also very vulnerable to the eventual walking Stuka, which we see Kimbo going for right now. Pack howitzers seem to be like just like the easiest of all of those mortar-like team weapons to decrew with the walking Stuka. And then the costliest to reinforce, having to go back up to 6 men. Oh no, a half-track gets caught out by the Puma. Nice work from Kimbo. Finding it slightly out of position, that anti-tank gun. Brosras just not quite on point with his anti-tank gun positioning there. Now another blob coming in, gonna force away the 50 cal with no a half-track there to support. That's gonna get wiped. Didn't even try to retreat. Brosras here falling apart, it looks like. Trash grenades going in. Walking Stuka. I think he's going for a base fire. Ambulance trying to move. Oh, it catches the ambulance. Oh my god. That was massive destruction there. Huge opening barrage. 10 kills, almost vet 1 off. 1 barrage. Ambulance down. Allies are getting pummeled here. It's taken them a long time to get to the tier 3 units as well. I suppose Brosras is probably going to go straight for the Persian, but Artavick, having invested so much into all these team weapons, is nowhere near a tank.
The capture point is being overrun. Points are down to 300.
It would be nice of him to get like a eject and start vetting it up for the eventual Allied or Axis army he needs to face. Because anti-tank guns alone not quite enough. You can see just the Axis have been keeping this kind of exact containment going on the Allies the whole time. Allies just having trouble dealing with the machine guns with these pack howitzers. If, you know, before they charge these squads in, they could scout out where the machine guns are, get some barrages in first, that would be really good. For instance, from the major recon pass, but it's not what we're seeing here. So they kind of run into the machine gun, then the pack howitzer start firing at them, but machine gun moves, squads come in, force away the suppressed squads, and then they gain no territory on the back of that. Rinse and repeat. Another walking Stuka, and that is it. 2 mortar teams down there for Brosras. That is brutal. Axis charging in here now on the back of it, looking to steal everything away. Nothing to stop this Puma right now. Anti-tank guns decrewed. No tank to retaliate. Even if they had just like a regular Sherman on HE, could be able to force away all of this assault. Whom sticking around trying to destroy those decrewed anti-tank guns, decrewed mortar teams, and he does. Anti-tank gun from Artavick finally worked his way over. That's too late, the damage has been done, both the mortar teams dead. That walking Stuka, laughing all the way to the bank, 17 kills and 2 barrages, that is the dream start. Allies need to regroup in a massive way. They are draining even worse than their opponents, but I think the VP score is actually pretty similar. I'm not sure who's going to get faction selection for game 3, because it does look like it's going to go to a game 3 if it continues on this way. Panther out for Stuve. Command Panther out for Kimbo. Even though the Panther's not super strong against infantry, they do have the machine guns. They're going to be able to contribute a little bit. Comes this double smoke. In fact, they're going to go for double Pershing strats. That's making a little bit more sense now, what Artavick is doing with his build order. Okay, anti-tank grenade does go off. Panther with the damage engine. Both the allies very close to their Pershing, but they are suffering a lot in the meantime. Waiting for that Pershing to arrive. White phosphorus, this is great. Good stuff. Right around his mid base.
All sectors. Ability now ready.
Another base dive for the ambulance from the Command Panther. Good reactions there from Artavick though, manages to get away just in the nick of time.
A capture point is under attack.
But yeah, you can see just how much of a threat it is. Like, the ambulance is so vulnerable to those kind of assaults when Axis don't have to worry nearly as much about mines when facing US forces. Double US forces in this case. At least with the mixed ally Soviets and US forces, you can have to worry about those Soviet mines.
New unit ready and on the field.
Trash grenades go in, so is a walking Stuka barrage. This could be nasty. Oh no, rifle squad goes down. Another one could still go down to this massive blob. In comes the airborne assault right at the base door. So even if this Pershing has to come all the way out here to stay out of the anti-tank strafe range. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. This Pershing could be in a little bit of trouble. Here come the anti-tank planes. Panther's nearby, but it's backing away actually. Almost dies to that plane. Command Panther thinking about going in for the kill here. And he secures the kill. They just used the anti-tank grenades. And Brosras and Artavick throwing the towel there. Fair enough. Basically pinned in their base, getting destroyed in their base. Very fast game there for game 2. WS forces on crossing in the woods, though. That was just a horrible idea. They didn't even get to make use of their strengths. Pershing, they just lost too hard before the Pershing came in. I really feel like one of them should have gone for infantry company if they're going to continue with this build. Get some M1919s, which are really effective against OKW, because then OKW lose the fights long range and they have to try close the distance on you, and you can stay behind the sandbags that you can build from infantry company as well. And then eventually you get access to the priest, which can try and knock down their trucks. But yeah, really well played by Kimbo and Stuve, just really abusing the fact that Brosras and Artavick had no flamethrowers in the early game with their building control on every avenue, and just really putting the hurt to this double use forces strategy and shutting it down super effectively.
Victory is ours.
Game 3 of this quarterfinals series. Faction selection did go to Stuve and Kimbo, and they have selected Axis. Makes sense, they won as Axis. Both teams won as Axis, so they select Axis. Brosras and Artavick sticking with the double US Forces team. This time though they're playing on outskirts. And I think the double US Forces does make a lot more sense on this map. This is the one that Hans and DVM used it on. Just, you know, it's bigger, basically. That's the whole reason. But also on top of that, you can set up like close range engagements more easily. Like there's a lot more shot blockers, a lot more like positions where you can like come around corners and ambush units, set up those close range engagements rather than just having to run head on it into Fox grenadiers and taking lots of damage on the approach. So I think on this map it does make a lot more sense, but still we'll have to see how they get on here. Kimbo Stuve sticking to the double OKW, and straight away one of them locking in Spec Ops. It's probably the most selected commander of the whole tournament. The Command Panther is just such a staple for OKW. A little bit of push and pull here. Artavick very eager to get into this point. Steal some territory here. Stuve goes to put down some wire on this cover. Gets foiled. Kupel up here for Stuve as well. Doing some capping. So, pretty slow start for both teams, just kind of capping up the side of the map. Not too much action, not too many aggressive plays so far. Japanese charge in against the rear echelons, but get caught by the riflemen as they're moving their way in. I don't see negative cover where those riflemen are right now. It doesn't really make sense, right? I can't see any on the ground. Cool, they're chipping away. Echelon get back in the building, trying to deny opportunities from hopping in. Double rifles now. Second squad comes in, trying to knock out the Kubel. Oh, they don't quite get it though. The Echelon's managing to hold the line there. Action in the south. Big old brawl between Riflemen and Volksstringers. Looks like the Riflemen are going to win it though. They're slightly better at this close range. Oh. Storm Pioneers for Stuve go down, and that's a disastrous start for him. Also, now that means the Kubel can't be used because he doesn't have any repairs for it. That is just an absolute stinker of a start for Stuve, losing the Storm Pioneers that early. Oh, late retreat from Kimbo. Oh my god. 2 squads down for the Axis early. They are off to a shocking start here. Looks like a squad of re-echelon did go down though, those Artavicks who were in this building at one point. So I suppose at least they did a little bit of revenge, but re-echelon are cheaper than Volksstringers and Storm Pioneers. Cycles a squad in, and now those two don't really want to fight that engagement any further. Axis have also got deep onto the cutoff here, cutting off the fuel and the munitions. So the Axis have done some pretty good cutoff action here, but at the same time they're also without fuel income themselves, so not ideal circumstances. Battle group up for Stuve, mechanized going down for Kimbo. Not really too surprising to see them splitting the tech like that. Seems to be how it goes. Scenery gang goes in. Pretty easily dodged. Does have a slightly tough retreat path though down this road. As for now, probably should have just done it to pop the retreat to dodge the grenades. Could go down if he's a little bit unlucky here.
Ambulance ready for action.
Not quite. So Lieutenant for Brosras, Captain for Artavick. Artavick also getting the ambulance. guys running towards the top here, brute forcing their way in the north. 50 cal gets caught out of position, forced to retreat. That's a bad start there for Brosras. The fact that he's going for a second 50 cal makes me think he's not going to go for the AA half track, which I think is a mistake. I think the AA half track is very strong. And Hans and Devian, when they were going double use forces, went double A half track. It's a pretty risky strategy, but most light vehicle strategies are. You have an element of risk. Right, we're now approaching, trying to force these units away. Finally, Stuve's Kuba's back up. He's rebuilt his Stern Pioneers. He's also gone for a MG34. Oh, Kuba's going to get away. These riflemen chasing a little bit far. Yeah, he's got to be careful with that negative cover road right there. Looks like they're going to make their way down onto the cutoff now. Cal in a bit of a dicey position here. Gets the suppression in, but the squad could come around the side here pretty easily. He's just trying to crawl out this way. Yep, and he manages to succeed in doing so. Still, the fuel is kind of trading hands quite often between the two opponents. Looks on the field now for Kimbo. Got some re-echelon bazookas for Brosras. Just be anticipating this looks. 50 cal, you know, when they do activate their AP. Oh my god, that's probably going to go down now. Setting up on the road. Super sketchy. Okay, the bazookas arrive and zone out the looks, so machine gun does make it out of there alive. Fortunately, he's advancing in the north there. There's a big US forces push in the south though, a lot of squads. M1 coming down here now as well. Trying to chase down that looks. And honestly, it seems like the WS Forces strategy is working out a lot better on this map. The fuel control has been much more effective. Just the engagements and the way that they can move their squads around, it's just so much better on this map compared to crossing in the woods. Going into the building. Just was a squad in it before, but now it's just doing a little bit of damage. So the Axis are hanging on to their territory at the moment. Zuka's going for another shot. Can't quite get it off though.
Okay, go ahead.
There goes the Kubel finally. So this time Artavick did go for the mortar over the pack out. So I mean, he probably had the pack out was available as an option. It's interesting to see. Brosras also went for a mortar a lot earlier on, so that is also interesting to see how they're switching up their builds. Still no commander selection for either of the US Forces players. there is some merit for if you are going to go for heavy cavalry for selecting it, because that way you can build the sandbags, which can help you out in these engagements a lot. A lot of territory changing hands here. Schwer going up on the cutoff here. Artavick's going to spot it just too late to do anything about it. That's actually a pretty fast tech for Stuve, has to be said. Meanwhile, Kimbo now has a lot of fuel. Looks like he's going to put down his healing truck though himself. Ooh, M1 gets a shot off on the looks. Not going to be able to get the killing blow though. Filtration grenades are dispensed by Kimbo. It's quite a lot of models with that as well. Really kind of took a bit of a wind out of the sails from Brosras' push. Losing so many models to those 2 or 3 infiltration grenades. It's interesting to see that he hasn't gone for any more bars. He's got a lot of munitions in the bank right now. Obviously has tech weapon racks too, so quite unusual not to see any bars from him. Artavick meanwhile has gone for bars, got a few of them now on his rifleman. Right on the edge of that flak, trying to knock out this ISG. Oh, that was a big hit from the mortar. Tank gun is here as well. I put a bit of damage on it because they got a squad in the building. They have a really good sight of it, which is why they're getting those super accurate shots in. It's like Kimbo now coming around the south, trying to put a bit of pressure on the flank. It does seem to be bringing an end to this push at the very least. Just getting zoned out pretty effectively, but he's kiting this pretty well. Suppression comes in from that building now also. Oh. Slightly late retreat here, could go down to the looks. Oh my god, that was a close call. Oh. Looks like the AT gun goes down. White Phosphorus came in for Brosras to stop the repairs. So we've got some major artillery up there it seems like, but without an anti-tank gun pumping away here, it's not going to go down. And they're kind of a little bit low on infantry right now to keep this push going. Oh, that was a good mortar shot. The MG34 in the building in a lot of trouble, and it goes down. More infantry now flooding in through the middle. Getting suppressed though on their way in. They need to recruit the anti-tank gun. They want to knock down this HQ. Squad gets into a building behind them though, and the M1's out there stranded. Oh, this is coming unglued for the US Forces team. Don't manage to knock down the HQ, lose the anti-tank gun in the process. That is bad news for them. I suppose they did wipe a machine gun in return, but in the process they've also lost like a lot of map control, don't have any fuel in the north or the south. So that push, not getting the job done on the HQ there, very, very costly. All MG34s in the south for Kimbo. So with no light vehicles themselves, yeah, they're kind of powerless against these machine guns right now. Can't easily outmaneuver them. Do have major for both of the US Forces players. Artavick though, and they're still just like the timings here are just so fine. Like, if they could build medium tanks right now, they'd be an okay spot. But because they need to wait that extra minute or so with their super low fuel income to get their tanks out, that extra delay is really helpful for the Axis. So they're pushing up on both fronts here. Brosras not having that much success. Or maybe he does, thanks to that 50 cal. Is he pushing up with that? Okay, they're coming up now. Double. Oh my god, he retreats with the bazookas though. Might be able to get one more barrage in.
Okay, fire away.
Area secure! Area secure! Keep firing! Deceiving enemy fire!
Oh, 50 cal looks like it's about to go down.
We lost a gun crew!
And stolen. Oh, that's a disaster for Brosras. Another machine gun in the south he has to deal with. Oh, and the other one gets away just as far as those last couple mortar shells. Sherman in production now, but as I said, like, if he just had the fuel a little bit earlier, Sherman would be on the field shutting down those looks. Things would be going so much more smoothly for Brosras in the south there. Looks like Artavick also ended up getting pushed off in the north.
Rocket Hauptkette, ready for battle.
Stuve now coming in for Kimbo, and he was lethal with that last game. Sniping those team weapons for the allies so easily. I would say that, like, compared to what I've seen throughout most of the rest of the tournament, the rocket artillery dodging for this team was actually pretty poor. German for both. So Artavick not going to try save up, Brosras rather, not going to save up for the easy 8. He's going to go for the regular Sherman first off. Understandable, like as I said, they need the impact now.
We've dropped to 200
On high explosive, try and do some damage. You hear they announced 200 VPs left for the allies. Oh, he might be able to get the wipe here. Looks like he's not going to chase in any further though. Just doesn't quite get the kill. What is this? He's got a... Oh my god, he's got a major recon pass coming in, trying to find where the walking Stuka is. That's backed out to base now. Cheeky attempt. This is rotating around to try to deal with it. There are a couple mines down here as well from Kimbo. We're just going to work. Sherman switching over to the armor piercing now. Going back in through the smoke screen. Uh-oh, looks could be in trouble, but he's not chasing. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get the kill. Artavick looks like he's made some headway in the north here though. Got a lot of territory under control finally. Oh, here comes the walking Stuka though. Oh my. That was an absolute disaster for Brosras. Lost his lieutenant and 5 or 6 extra men on 2 more squads. As I said, I was kind of just talking about how bad their dodging of the rocket artillery was, and you got to see it right there. Definitely seems to be their weakness as a team. Use smoke here, which would be quite nice from the Sherman to cover this machine gun when it's camping. Looks us back, and now we've got a command Panther behind that. Sherman's got to get out of there. It looks like the 50 cal's going to go down. Bazooka's coming up. Zoning away the Panther, another squad as well, threatening the anti-tank grenades. So Sherman gets away alive. Sherman going to have to contest this Okodobi Panzer IV now. M1 is there. Second Panzer IV is here now though as well though. Outnumbered 2-1, shows how strong the resource control of the Axis has been so far. Even with their significantly more expensive tanks, they've got 2 of them out already. Stuve calls in some smoke to help his Panzer IVs escape cleanly. Oh, don't jump in that building. Bad idea. Okay, he doesn't. He's just trying to hide from Panzer IV, but he can't hide from the ISG. Gets a great shot on him. Oh. How'd the Major run around that mine? What was teammate? Oh, his buddy comes in and trips it. Major goes down. Mortar teams in the scopes, and down they go. Double mortars down once again. So after 2 walking Stuka barrages, Brosras' army is now almost annihilated. He's lost so much. And the Axis are going on the warpath here. Double anti-tank guns for Artavick actually catches this Panther IV off guard. One more shot and it'll go down. Jim's gonna try get it. M1's come to support, and he does. He penetrates from the front. Nicely done with the Sherman. Smoke a little bit too slow. Squad's desperately trying to salvage these mortars, stop them from being recruited by the US forces. Tank guns actually wheeling their way back up to the north, maybe to try to deal with that Panzer IV, but it's leaving them a little bit exposed to this Panther in the south now. And the anti-tank guns also having to pull back from the north. I feel like Brosras and Artavick, their teamwork just hasn't been that strong, coming to support each other. Haven't been quite as fluid as Kimbo and Stuve. Another base inspection, going for the ambulance. Oh my god, he snipes at long range on the move too. Disgusting. Kitten is there. Now the Sherman's in trouble. Panzer IV going in for the kill. Oh, and he gets blocked by the 50 cal. Ends up going down because of it. He's having trouble penetrating. In comes the airborne assault, zoning them out of the VP. Oh my god. Once again, another just complete lack of a dodge from the Allies. Lose so many units right there. 3 walking Stuka barrages, 27 kills if I'm not mistaken. And Brosras and Artavick throw in the towel. Well, I have to say this was a very confusing performance from Brosras and Artavick. Double US forces, I think on this map does make a lot more sense than crossing in the woods, but I think it's not very good in these team game scenarios. They just don't have like the rocket artillery to kind of Calliope's not really useful enough. We saw Hounds and DVM have success with this earlier in the tournament, but they played like a very aggressive early game style, and kind of like everything went right for them in the early game as well, which is they just had enough momentum in the early game to carry them through the rest of the match. But Brosras and Artavick just, at best, they were going 50-50 in the early game. Brosras not getting the A half track, I think, was a big mistake in this match. I think it led to him not having enough control. The machine guns really shut him down because he had nothing to flank them. And the A half track can fight the Panzer II somewhat effectively as long as it's set up, especially if like a threat of a 50 cal with AP ammo there or a tank grenade. You can zone off the Panzer II with it. But yeah, overall, I don't understand really what they were going for as allies, and their rocket artillery dodging skills were really just terrible this series. But yeah, well played from Stuve and Kimbo, just like a very solid strategy and executed well. GG.
Victory is ours.